You know what
Backpacking America
is, right?
It's fucking awesome.
It's Backpacking America, an analytical podcast. So, before we get into today's episode, yes, I did shave. It's temporary. It's gonna come back for a long time, but I wanted to see if I could grow it in thicker. So don't worry. This is only a temporary, very temporary, very, very temporary thing. It is so weird not seeing my face with the mustache. Fun fact, I had this mustache for 3 years, and I woke up one day and it was like there in full. Like, I don't even know what I did. It was just there. So I was like, oh, I'm not shaving this. And, you know, at the time, it helped me get into the bars when I wasn't of age. So I was like, oh, I'm not shaving this till I'm 21. Then I turned 21, and my boys were like, okay, so when are you going to shave it? And I said, you know what? Probably not going to do that. So here I am. And I decided to shave it. I don't know. I guess my mental health is declining or something. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about, let me pull up my notes, the Conch Republic. So the Conch Republic is what is called as a micronation, or a nation within a nation. Basically, and my video just ended. Ugh. All right, and we're back. So basically, the Conch Republic is what's called a micronation, and basically, a micronation is a nation within a nation, and it's like it's kind of dependent on like the host nation for its survival, which is why it's micro, because it's usually like super tiny. Similar countries could be like the Republic of Sealand, which is basically like off the coast of the UK, and it's on like an old anti-aircraft barge. So that's one example. Another one is Christiania, which is in Denmark. But this one is in the United States of America. So it broke away from the U.S., and it's located in the Florida Keys. The Conch Republic sarcastically declared independence from the United States. Now, I really don't know how you sarcastically declare independence from the U.S., but they did it, and they did a lot of cool stuff. And they did this on April 23rd, 1982. So basically, the territory of this country ran from the legally defined boundaries of Monroe County, Florida, northward to Skeeter's Last Chance Saloon in Florida City, Dade County, Florida, with Key West as the nation's capital and all territories north of Key West being referred to as the Northern Territories. The purpose for this secession occurred when Border Patrol set up a roadblock on Card Sound Bridge, which is also known as the 7 Mile Bridge, for the purpose of searching vehicles for immigrants or narcotics.
Key Westers say the inspection for drugs and illegal aliens at the Monroe County border is only one of many ways in which the southernmost part of the state's been singled out as a foreign nation. So at noon today, they made it official. Former Mayor Dennis Wardlow redubbed himself Prime Minister, announced Key West's secession from the Union, rechristening it the Conch Republic. Cheers went up as the new flag was flown.
If Key West is a foreign country to Washington, Washington shall represent a foreign nation to Key West.
This roadblock prevented tourism from reaching the island because the traffic jams were so voluminous, whatever. Very big traffic, bad traffic no good for business, because that was the only way you could get a car or truck across into the Key West area. So with the only way to and from the island now being Eastern Airlines, this got a lot of people mad. So get this. On the day independence was declared, Mayor Wardlow was declared Prime Minister of the Conch Republic and immediately declared war on the United States. And then this goes in a direction you're not expecting. In doing so, he hit a sailor over the head with a stale loaf of Cuban bread, and then exactly 60 seconds later surrendered, signed a peace treaty, and applied for $1 billion in foreign aid from the U.S. government. This isn't the end of the Conch Republic's antics either. The Republic was invited to the Summit of the Americas in 1994. The Republic even succeeded in getting the roadblock removed because of their cheeky activities. The Republic was able to dampen the efforts of the federal government to interfere in the affairs of Key West, solely just by sarcastically declaring independence from the United States. We should, all us leftists should just get together and sarcastically declare separation from the United States, and then maybe we'll get communism. Who knows? On September 20th, 1995, the 478th Civil Affairs Battalion of the U.S. Army Reserve was scheduled to plan a mock invasion of an island, which would take place on the Conch Republic's territory. This, of course, occurred without notification of Conch authorities. Then, Wardlow and the forces behind the 1982 Conch Republic secession mobilized the island for a full-scale war, sending the schooner Western Union out to attack an incoming Coast Guard cutter with water balloons, conch fritters, and stale Cuban bread, to which the Coast Guard responded with their fire hoses that quickly ended the battle. After this, the Conch Republic protested to the Department of Defense for arranging this exercise without consulting the city of Key West. The leaders of the 478th issued an apology the next day, saying they in no way meant to challenge or impugn the sovereignty of the Conch Republic, and submitted to a surrender ceremony on September 22nd. Man, that is what oh my god. During the government shutdown of 1990, I gotta, man, that is the man, how did they get away with that? Like, what? Like, how do you sarcastically, that is a whole other, I know why. It's because of privilege and, it was also a different time in the country, too, I guess. I guess the Bill Clinton years were more forgiving to secession, considering we had Waco, Texas. I'm gonna keep talking before I get deplatformed by Spotify. During the government shutdown of 1995 to 1996, the Conch again protested by sending a fleet of civilian and fire vessels to Fort Jefferson on dry Tortugas National Park, demanding it reopen. The initial goal was to simply deliver private funds to keep the park open and functional. But when they could not find anyone there, they just occupied the land. Can you imagine, like, if the Burger King was closed, right? And you're like, no one's here. I'm going to just break in and make myself a fucking a chicken sandwich. That's essentially what they did. All those that took part in the occupation were cited, but unsurprisingly, the charges were dropped. Peter Anderson, one of the defendants in the invasion of the national park, led the occupation of an unattached portion of the 7 Mile Bridge. This was in response to a U.S. immigration policy in regards to Cuba called the wet feet, dry feet policy. If Cubans were intercepted between the U.S. and Cuba with wet feet, they would be sent back to Cuba or to a third country, while those with dry feet could pursue residency. This became a Conchian issue when some Cuban refugees were found on the unconnected portion of the bridge, thus meaning they had wet feet and were deported. The Republic saw that the bridge was no longer considered U.S. property because of this and decided to take it over in protest of the deportations. This prompted Florida Governor Jeb, please clap, Bush, to say, with all due respect to the Conch Republic, the bridge belongs to all the people of Florida, and we're not currently in negotiations to sell it. Ow. I really hit an octave or something with that please clap. The refugee decision was later overturned, but only after they were sent back to Cuba. Then, in true revolutionary fashion and motivation, a portion of the Republic broke away to form the independent northeastern territories of the Conch Republic. Proponents claim this separation is a result of disagreements over the definition and use of the term Conch Republic. That is absolutely a Western leftist textbook definition of sectionalism. We love to see it. This was very silly. And towards the end, I guess they realized their true power and like, hey, wait a minute. let's fight in solidarity with immigrants. If we could get that, if we can get the federal government to get rid of a roadblock because of a sarcastic secession, I think we could do a lot more. And man, I mean, like, a lot of the people behind this were white, and and a lot of them were bourgeois. So like, you know, kind of makes sense why they got away with that. On a good note, they did do some cool stuff to help immigrants, and they ended up indirectly contributing to that policy being removed, as well as removing a roadblock, making it a lot easier for the people living in Key West to actually live in Key West. So hey, you know what? Privilege aside, they used it for good, and that was such a silly story. The fact that the Conch Republic was able to do all that without a shot fired, only water balloons and stale loaves of bread. I guess we need to start forming more micronations so we could actually get civil rights. I think sarcastically declaring independence from the United States of America is probably our best hope at this point. It's also interesting to note that the Conch Republic has a military. So basically, and this is still true, they actively maintain an Army, Navy, and Air Force whose primary duties are to help reenact the Great Sea Battle of 1982 and the retaking of Fort Jefferson. The Conch Republic Navy comprises no fewer than 10 civilian boats and the schooner Wolf under the command of Admiral Finbar Gittleman. The Army consists of the 1st Conch Artillery garrisoned at Fort Taylor. The Conch Republic Air Force has more than a dozen appointed aircraft in its fleet. The flagship at 1942 Waco, that's ironic, was flown by Fred R. Cabanas, a legendary stunt pilot and ambassador for the Conch Republic at air shows worldwide. He flew Conch Fury in the 2005 Reno air races. Fred was declared General of the Air Force by the mayor of Key West after intercepting a defecting Cuban MiG-29 with his Pitts Special in 1991. Holy crap. He intercepted a MiG-23 with... It's a biplane. Yo, the Conch Republic is full of chads, man. This is like... The Conch Republic has big dick energy. It really, you know what? Let me see if I could find the Conch Republic flag on Amazon. I'm pretty sure I can, because I'm going to buy one. I swear to God. Hold on, let's see if they have it. Conch Republic flag. Oh, not NCH. Oopsie. Conch. Yep, they have it. For $5, you could buy a Conch Republic flag and have it delivered straight to your doorstep. I am totally buying one. Yeah. I think the Conch Republic is absolutely baller. I think at that point, after seeing that a dude was able to intercept a MiG-23 with a biplane, absolutely baller. Even though the Cuban plane was defecting, the fact that it complied and was like, "Yeah, bro, you can take me as your prisoner." Totally, bro. An unarmed biplane, fine. That's amazing. Fred was then succeeded by his son Raymond Cabanas afterwards in 2013. And in literature, some of the action in Joe Hadelman's 1989 science fiction novel Buying Time takes place in the Conch Republic, a lawless place where assassination and other activities, they don't even mention it, are perfectly legal. That's awesome. That's really awesome. And there's also a national anthem of the Conch Republic written by Key Lime Pie and voted on and accepted by the City of Key West City Commissioners. So they have a national anthem, an army, and a navy, and an air force that intercepted a MiG-23. I don't think there's any micronation on the planet that can compare to that, or really any nation that can compare to that level of big dick energy, besides the Conch Republic. I think the Conch Republic is the most American secessionist movement because it takes the spirit of liberty, equality, and fraternity, or maybe that's French, but life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. There we go. And applied it without slavery. So that's pretty cool. The Conch Republic is based. I like the Conch Republic. And Yeah. I'm even like this close to saying the Conch Republic is daddy. I know, controversial and sus, I know, but I really don't care. In fact, they even have their own souvenir and passports as well as vehicle registrations. And after 9/11, the FBI thought that hijacker Muhammad Atta had possibly purchased a Conch Republic passport. So I'm sure that really caused a lot of issues for this little tiny fake republic. The fact that like the Conch Republic is sarcastic but caused so many real world implications for the federal government and got away with it is just so mind blowing to me. Like we seriously need to start forming micronations just to fuck with the federal government. I am all on board for that. Now to celebrate the end of the episode, the victories of the Conch Republic, and in the spirit of sarcastic declaration of independence from the United States, the national anthem of the Conch Republic, everyone.
Grandpa came from New England, Grandma from Abaco. You know they lived on the island all their lives. Everyone they know. Grandpa used to run around with a Cuban friend he knew. And Grandma cooked and fed the kids and watched as her garden grew. Down in the cold republic, the weather is just fine. But the natives, they grow restless as they sit there on the line. You know my daddy, he talked of leaving, saying things just weren't the same. You know the northern folk are moving in, things are changing and they're to blame. But Mama, she just wouldn't have it. She say she could never go. There's home her roots on the island now, and most folks I still know. Down in the cold republic, the weather is just fine. But the natives, they grow restless as they sit there on the line. You know my grandpapa taught me how to survive the best way that he knew. And Papa's still here in the cigar store, trying to make a living too. And me, I've been to Mariel, Jamaica once or twice. You know the more we change, the more we stay with the old conch way of life. Down in the cold republic, the weather is just fine. But the natives, they grow restless as they sit there on their line. You know they sit there on their line. Oh yeah, they sit there on their line.
Thanks for listening, y'all. Make sure to give BPA a follow on Instagram at Backpacking America and Twitter at BPA Podcasting. Make sure to like BPA on Facebook and subscribe on YouTube. The links can be found in the podcast description. Until then, take it easy and stay breezy.